In our life mission, we are saying that there is a particular field of life you are called into where heaven expects you to make your highest contribution to the human race. That's how come discovering your life mission is very critical. And that's how come we must do everything possible to get the message of purpose, life calling, life assignment to as many human beings we can get. Because your life calling doesn't end after death. It is after death you are now actually going to be living out the depths of your life calling with respect to the area of life you were called into. It is not Satan that set up these 7 pillars. It is actually God that instituted these upon the earth for the running of the earth to push the world towards his ends, towards his purposes. However, the reason why it looks as if Satan is having a field day in each of these spheres of life is because when man fell, man, by means of his fall, gave his right and dominion over these 7 spheres to Satan. So most of the times, if you listen to preachers, some preachers that talk on these things, it looks as if that all these 7 spheres of life are wrong and that Christians are supposed to go there and take it from the hands of the enemy. Yes, there is a sense where we are supposed to do a restorative work with your life calling in these 7 spheres. But then that one is a restorative work. It's a corrective measure. Now, if we understand it, that these 7 pillars are God's original institutions over the earth, then if the fall hasn't happened and you have your life calling, what were you supposed to do here? Before there was ever a fall, men were supposed to build politics and go into governance. Men were supposed to have a certain form of education and system of education. Okay, so that whether Satan exists or not, whether there was the fall or not, your life assignment is to be a builder of culture, a maker of nations. Satan has also caused harm through other men in these 7 pillars. So as we seek to build nations, we should also have an eye of reforming or transforming nations. Let me now open our people to the spiritual aspect of this and where Satan comes in. This is a demonic being that John is going to be seen having influence over the world. This demonic entity has here been 7 heads. So if you don't pick the concept from Proverbs, you would think the 7 mountains are something that Satan originated. No. The reason why the woman has 7 mountains to even sit on is because God originally created it. So the enemy is trying to infiltrate what God has already instituted wherever you are assigned to in any of these spheres, and you are not under or on the foundation of Christ, and you are not under the inspiration of Christ, you will automatically sell out your birthright, and you will prostitute your destiny and your inheritance with the enemy, and you will pursue these spheres of life not as a pursuit of truth and goodness and beauty. You will pursue it as your career to make money. This is where now the issue of career now becomes dangerous, because if you reduce your life mission to a career, you have prostituted your life mission to money. So let us look at the 5-sphere influence also of the enemy. Look at what the wise man said concerning the dream of this king called Nebuchadnezzar. Genesis 1:20 says, do you know what the Bible says? God said what? Let us make man in our image and our likeness, and let them have dominion. Then the Bible now went on in talking about the various spheres that made it 5. Do you remember that when Nebuchadnezzar also saw the statue, what was the name the Bible gave to the statue?
This image.
So, Pastor, do you know the lesson?
Wow.
The lesson is that society will either be in the image of God and heaven, or society will either be in the image of Satan and hell. Genesis, how many spheres of life were we supposed to specialize?
5.
How many is here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So exactly what God wanted to do with Adam is the same thing when man fell, Satan wants to do with man. So according to the image of the enemy, it also has 5 areas of life it's also going to dominate. So on the demonic side, we are seeing 5, but 7. On the godly side, we are also seeing another 5, but 7.